Hello, what is up? My name is Ben. Welcome back to the channel. UFC fighters are some of the scariest people on the planet. But a lot of the time they could put their hoodie on and they could be unrecognisable, even pass off as just a regular person. That's why you don't want to just get in fights with random people, because you never know what skills they truly have. But recently we've seen the likes of Conor McGregor, some of the most famous UFC fighters in the world, and it looks like they're trying to change professions because they are coming up with some incredible transformations, going from 150 pounds kind of really lightweight, bulking up with a serious amount of muscle that would put your average gym goer to absolute shame. Here are the craziest UFC transformations. The first person we're going to be having a look at is the notorious MMA, Conor McGregor himself. In this first picture, he's doing a front double bicep pose, showing his transformation from 2015 to 2017, and most recently in 2022, where he's really gained some traction. People have started to notice the difference in his body. So in 2015, you can see he's still extremely ripped. All the insertions are very visible. But he is extremely skinny as well. Not much body fat, but also not a huge amount of muscle. You wouldn't put him down as someone who spends a significant amount of time in the weight room. In 2017, this changed. You can see his arms are quite clearly quite a lot bigger. Again, those lats are sticking out more prominently as well, and the shoulders, and just in general looks like he's gained about 10 pounds there. Without gaining too much body fat, maybe even 15 pounds. Stepping right up to 2022, Conor is not fighting anywhere near as regularly. He's kind of changed his style of training to accommodate that. And you can see it's just night and day difference. Although the level of body fat has gone up, you can see particularly in the shoulders and the lats, they look much larger. And then the arms as well are filled out a little bit more as well. But those shoulders and lats in particular, you can really see. Obviously, looking at the face element, you can see more fat there. Not quite as lean in the jawline department, but obviously the beard is covering that a little bit as well. So you can't see the full story, but you can definitely see more weight around the face. But in terms of training, you'd say he looks like someone who's lifting pretty heavy in the gym, probably throwing around a decent amount of weight, and they're completely different from the 2015 version of himself. Something's clearly changed in terms of his training and his diet, and he just looks incredibly different. Not to say that his body is not achievable, it absolutely is, but it's definitely a more weight-focused version of Conor McGregor. The second transformation that is night and day is Alistair Overeem, a former UFC heavyweight champion. He went the other end of the spectrum, going from fat with a big beer belly to being chiseled and lean, almost like a bodybuilder. In this before photo, we can see he's still got a lot of muscle, but he doesn't look like anyone who'd be adhering to a diet by any means. Doesn't look like a professional fighter. Still probably very strong. Still hitting the weight room as well, I would have thought. But the diet is one of the key elements here that's led him to transform, because if you look to your right, it's crazy the difference here. He has shedded a lot of body fat, and in general his muscle doesn't look like he's dropped too much. The arms are still really, really large. Great biceps on Alistair Overeem, and he just looks completely different. What surprises me most about his transformation is his neck area. Actually, normally what you'd find is when people lean right out like Conor McGregor in the last clip, their neck becomes quite a lot thinner and more structure is shown, whereas Alistair Overeem, even though he's got a lot leaner, his neck and face still look incredibly muscular. So it doesn't look like he's dropped a lot of weight up top. If you just cut off his shoulders, you would never have known the difference there. But obviously so much leaner underneath, and one of the most incredible physiques in the UFC. Notoriously though, was done for steroid usage, which makes sense because realistically getting a physique at this level would be extremely difficult, especially at his height, a very tall man. A recent one as well is a champion John Jones. We've not picked out kind of the lesser UFC fighters. We've gone for the big names here. John Jones has actually had quite a few different physiques over his time in the UFC, but most recently he's bulked up massively, trying to transform into the heavyweight division, and he's been very successful in doing so. Clearly his body fat levels have gone up, but he looks so much more muscular. He's definitely put on some good quality muscle, and I think he will be able to handle himself very well. Whether he ends up fighting Francis Ngannou, I don't know, but hey, if he's going to keep getting bigger, he'll have a good shot. In this picture you can really see the extent of his transformation, going from 2013 to 2015 to 2019, where he went from someone who doesn't even look like they train at all in any department, any sport, to looking extremely ripped straight away, and then just kind of enhancing that physique into his fighting career with a really good level of muscle. And I've seen John Jones's lifts. He's incredibly strong as well. For someone with arms the length of him, I think he's putting up some great numbers on bench press. I think he's even done 3 plates, which is incredibly impressive for his leverages. UFC fighters really changing the name of the game. Some great transformations. And it used to be the sport of boxing with Anthony Joshua, who was setting that kind of bodybuilding level of physique. But that's really transferring over into the UFC. And name dropping Francis Ngannou, because he again has an incredible physique for such a big heavyweight. Absolutely ripped. Great genetics in the chest and the arms. These guys really would have a great potential if they moved into bodybuilding and focused purely on weight training. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you would like me to attempt the workout of Conor McGregor and his crazy transformation that you've just seen, then please leave a like and a comment and let me know what you'd like to see. Or maybe it's one of the other UFC fighters. Whatever it is, I will take it on. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. See you later.